You are ready to risk it all. The boss gets on your nerve. They are calculating your time to a T. You cannot be a minute late. They keep asking you to bring in coffee. You are not the coffee lady. That is not in your job description. You are overqualified for this job and underpaid. You have a skill and you know that you can make a ton of money focusing on your skill than working for somebody else's brand and making them money. This job sucks. It is draining the energy out of your soul and you hate all of your coworkers. You're looking at that check, it's not adding up. Okay guys, all right beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Erica J. If you are new here, welcome. I want to get right into this video because I get asked this question so much. I decided to make a video on this. I feel like this is a really hot topic right now. Should you be an entrepreneur or should you stay with your 9 to 5? And first off, I want to get right into the first most important detail, which is the deciding factor of which way you should go, and that is the financial portion of being an entrepreneur versus sticking to your 9 to 5. Okay, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, what makes me qualified to be telling you what you should or should not be doing in your life. Well, anyway, I have a background in education. I was a public school teacher and I started a boutique, and I've had my boutique for about 10 plus years. Actually my second boutique. We'll get into that at the end of the video if you're interested. And I actually had that boutique for 10 years, and then as of this year, my boutique went online at the end of last year and I went back into the teaching field as a middle school teacher. So I feel like I'm very qualified to tell you the pros and cons of each. So let's get right into it. And the first one being the financials, okay? Because listen, that will make or break your entrepreneurial journey or keep you at your 9 to 5. So let's get right into why or why not. All right, so first of all, when you are opening up a new business, I want you guys to be realistic because Instagram has everyone thinking that entrepreneurship, opening up a new business is just like the best thing ever and nothing's gonna go wrong. They don't show you the nights where you are crying or you're up worrying or you're stressed about your business making money, meeting goals, meeting deadlines, or whatever it is. They don't show you that. So let's talk about the money part, all right? So say you have some money saved or you're taking out your 401k or however it is you are funding a business. That's just a small portion, yes, a small portion of the finances, right? You built the business, you're getting it going, but now moving forward, how are you going to sustain, right? Because the first year or two of your business, I want to be totally honest with you, you should not be taking money out of your business to fund your lifestyle or pay your bills. I know for some of us that's probably sounds crazy, and really depending on what area you're going into, it's just a totally bad idea, right? Okay, and I'm going to tell you why, right? I'm going to give you my own personal example. Your first couple of years in business, all the money that you profit should really be going back into your business, whether it is marketing or it's inventory. There's a long list of things. Okay, you can research that later. But just know that that money needs to go back into the business. It should not just be like going into your personal fund or funding your lifestyle. Now, I'm going to give you a good example so you can relate and understand what I'm talking about. When I opened up my boutique, I had my first boutique, which was a children's boutique because I had a love of children's clothes. My daughter was little at the time. Everybody loved the way she dressed, so that's a whole nother story, y'all. We'll get into that at the end of the video, how I actually got off into it. All right, so then I had this children's boutique. I had a set amount of money that I had used to open up this boutique, get a small portion of the marketing going, the inventory, the build out of the store, the rent. I mean, the list goes on and on and on for these businesses, okay? And boom, I had not really sat down with myself and thought about, okay, well, what's going to happen in the next couple of months? I need to make a certain amount of money to maintain the rent, to maintain employees, to maintain inventory and grow and marketing and all these things. Like, I did not know these things, right? I'm thinking, bam, I'm going to open up this business. It's going to flourish. I really didn't have another level of thinking for the financials. I really didn't. I'm being totally honest, right? I was just excited to be an entrepreneur. I was a teacher. I also anticipated not leaving my teaching job, right? So I think that was part of the reason I didn't think the financial part through, was because I didn't anticipate not having my full-time teaching income. But what happened was I decided I was going to open this business in June, which is, you know, teachers have summers off, and I was going to get this business off the ground, and by the end of the summer I was going to have these wonderful employees, and the business was going to be doing so well that I could just take myself out of the business, go back to work, and I could do both, right? I can just check on this business during the week or weekends, however it is I was going to do it. This is the map I had in my head. But in reality, guys, if you are opening up a brand new business, it is so imperative to be in your business, to stay in your business, because like there's so many things that you learn along the way. You're learning your customers, you're learning what sells, what does not sell, the flow of your store, right? Your inventory, because people could be like robbing you blind while you're not there, you employees. We'll get into that. If you want to hear story times about that, girl, that's a whole nother video, but bring it back in. So you really need to be in your business. If you want it to grow, you want it to flourish, you need to be in your business. So needless to say, I did not go back to teaching when the school year started back, fall came around. I was in my business, which was great because my business was growing. It was a beautiful business and I needed to be there. So with all that being said, I took away my primary source of income. Now you have to think about that. You have the same amount of bills, same amount of responsibilities, but you don't have your income, right? Because again, you should not be taking money from your business and funding your life or paying your bills. And I didn't think about these things because when it came to it, the business was growing and it was doing very well, but I was taking my profit, I was putting it back into the store as far as inventory, marketing, and employees, but I was also funding my regular everyday life, paying myself to pay my bills, which sounds normal, but in the infancy stage, that is a no-no, because there was a time when my business was growing and I was cutting everything this way, that way, and the third, that I did not have extra money for perhaps more marketing that I needed at the time. And then it became, okay, now I'm just spending money on just more money on top of money. It was like just this little circle, right? So you have to be conscious of that. If you have a wife, a spouse, or if it's you alone, you have to sit down with your spouse or by yourself and figure out the finances of your business. You want to make it clear to yourself where every dollar is going to go, and you should not rely on your business to fund your lifestyle. That is just the most important piece of advice that I could give you. If you want the business to grow and flourish and have money for marketing, employees, more inventory, and to grow and scale, that's my first piece of advice, and I cannot stress that enough. Okay, so now that we have the financials out the way, I have my phone here, guys, because I have notes because I don't want to miss a thing. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the flexibility of your time. So you know what this means, right? When you're in your 9 to 5 or your regular job, it's just that. It's a set amount of hours. Someone else is in control of your time. You have to ask for days off, and that's really cut and dry. That's just it. You have to ask permission for a day off. You have to go to the doctor, you have to ask permission, right? So to me, there's no real flexibility in time when you have a 9 to 5. Even though I was like a teacher, not like a teacher, I was a teacher, we have summers off, so there's flexibility in that. But say I get sick during the year and I need to really take a couple of days off to rest, like, you know, in the winter time you get sick, you get head colds, that's common, but you really have to push through when you have a regular 9 to 5, because you know your boss frowns upon calling off, right? Like everybody frowns upon self-care and taking off when you are sick, or you just may be having an emotional day, or you need a mental health day. With a regular 9 to 5, that's just really, it's really not a thing. You gotta call off sick. And I don't know why in society you have like these structures, not structure, but you're given days off, right? Like you get given 10 sick days in a regular like business job, right? Or 5, whatever it is. But then when you take them, it's like such a big deal for calling off, right? People, it's just a mess. But anyway, when you are a business owner, your time is way more flexible. If you're having a sick day and you have employees, you just rely on your employees to run your business for a day. Nothing too crazy, hopefully, is going to happen, and everything will be fine. So for me, being on somebody else's time, looking back on that and looking at it now, because I can tell you again, I'm back in it, right? It's a no for me. I don't like being on somebody else's time. I like that flexibility of, I'm feeling a little bit run down today. This is going to be a mental health day or a physical day where I just get back to me. I take a self-care day. Maybe I want to take a massage or get a massage, excuse me, or something like that. And also, if you have children, they have basketball games, swimming, volleyball. Your schedule is so much more open because you create your schedule. You are the master of your time. When you're at somebody else's job, you can just literally not attend all those things. You're not going to be able to do all the things that you want to do and need to do because you just can't. You're on somebody else's time. So I feel like when you're looking at the window of entrepreneurship and 9 to 5 on the scale of flexibility of time, I'm always going to go with being an entrepreneur because I can create my own schedule. I am the master of my own time. All right, we already talked about the financials, but let's get into the opportunity to make a lot of money or to make a set amount of money for someone. Okay, so let's go back to working a 9 to 5. When you work a 9 to 5, you are basically at a ceiling, right? These companies know exactly how much they think that you're worth, and that's what they're gonna pay you, right? And if they give you a raise, they're gonna give you a small raise. They're gonna be steps. It's like you gotta work so hard to get these little raises or these little steps. It's like you're working forever to make, let's say, I don't know, let's say for example, a raise of 20,000 or 15,000. Like, to companies, that's a lot. And so when they're giving you bonuses or raising depending on your field, it's like, to me, I feel like you have to work so much harder for someone else's business to get those raises. And I also feel like it's somewhat of a ceiling that you hit when you work for someone else. Like, to me, your salary is like capped because they have in their minds, these companies, these corporations, they know exactly where you're going to cap out, where they're going to stop paying you. And if you keep asking for too much, they'll just fire you. Seriously, they'll fire you, find someone cheaper, younger, and because they can pay them less and keep it moving. So I feel like working the 9 to 5, the money wise, it's okay. But you know, I feel like let's flip it over to being an entrepreneur. Depending on what field you go into or what type of business whether you open, the potential to make money is endless because you are your money machine. I'm gonna say that again, you are your money machine. You put in the hours to work for you, to work for your money, to work for your company. The possibilities are endless. When I opened up my boutique, I'll just be honest with you guys, I had a strong 9 to 5 mindset. Like, my grandmother was a teacher and that's all I ever wanted to be. I never really imagined working for myself. That seems so foreign, but my significant other pushed me. I guess he saw something in me that I did not see for myself, and he pushed me to be an entrepreneur. And I was just so freaked out about the whole not knowing what my money was every 2 weeks. That was just a foreign concept to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, your 401k, health benefits, like, my mindset was just honed into just that, right? And so when I ventured off into owning my own business, we talked about this earlier, and then you really don't know what your money looks like. Or do we not say that? But you don't know what your money looks like sometimes. And it's like, so my comfort level of knowing what my paycheck was just extremely comfortable. Now, when I opened up my boutique and I started to see, like, not instantly, but when I started to see the money that was coming in, I realized, like, girl, like, like, wait a minute, like, I get to set my own hours. I'm doing something that I love, picking out clothes, traveling to different vendors, you know, things that, you know, opportunities are just doors that, you know, that I never imagined would be open. Like, they were open and I was making good money, way more money than I was making as a teacher. And I was like, girl, the possibilities are endless. You have online sales, you have a brick and mortar location. Like, you do what you want to do, you make what you want to make. The limitations are only yours. So when we're talking about opening up a business or being an entrepreneur, figure out what you want to do. Is this business going to make money? Could it be profitable? You have to think about the political culture, the economy, everything that's going on around, because all those things go into play into what type of business you're going to open. But overall, the possibilities about income in reference to income are through the roof. So if I'm going to compare finances as far as, like, the money coming in, once your business is up and running, the potential to make a lot of money is there for entrepreneurship. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that 9 to 5s don't make money, because we know that is not true. We have people out here 6 figures, 7 figures on these jobs. But with anything, again, just like this video, it's pros and cons. So if you're sitting there somewhere and you are a good chef or you are a good baker, for example, there is a woman that I work with right now. She's a teacher in my building and she makes wonderful pound cakes. But she's been teaching for so long, her mindset is stuck into this 9 to 5. She will never leave, right? But if she only knew her potential as far as income, because that's what she expressed her worry was, you know, break that down to how many cakes do you have to sell a month, a week, a day to sustain the current income that you have right now, as opposed to, you know, you need to make a day to make your current income or succeed that, right? So people have to like think outside the box and like reverse engineer their thoughts, but the potential is endless. So let's talk about that. If you are a great baker and you want to sell cakes, you might get into your local grocer. You might get into a few of your local restaurants. Like, you guys have to think outside the box on how to place your products, get your products out there. The potential is just endless. Okay, so while we're talking about making cakes and the possibilities of making all this money is out there, I want to talk about following your passion, because a 9 to 5 is a 9 to 5 your passion. It could be, I'm not sure, right? Like for me, teaching at some point was a passion, right? I love kids. I love to be in the front of a room teaching kids how to read and all this, that, and the third, right? So yes, can a 9 to 5 be your passion? For sure. But there might be something else that is also your passion, right? Maybe you are good, you're a good artist, right? I know an artist out there that was doing nails on the side and then ventured off into painting murals, right? Because, you know, you have to think of where one step could lead you. You start one thing and then it grows to another. I knew a girl who was doing nails on the side. I said that again. And then she was so gifted and so talented, she branched off into literally the art, the nail art that she made on people's nails. She turned those into murals and she would sell them for thousands and thousands of dollars. So the possibility is just endless in whatever you do, right? And you're following your dream. You are following your passion. And for a lot of us, we don't get to do that. And this in entrepreneurship is where you can follow your dreams. This idea that you have, right? Some ideas don't make money, right? Let me say this, because, you know, there's some things that are just gonna have to stay a hobby on the side. They don't make any money, but there are lots and lots of dreams and hobbies out there that can turn you into a millionaire. So you have to think of your pros and cons. Do you want to follow your dream of sticking some of your, do you want to stick to your dream that coincides and works inside a 9 to 5, like being a teacher? Maybe you just love teaching yoga, I don't know, things like that. Or do you want to step outside your box and you want to create this dream? You want to follow this passion that's in your heart and you want to show the world. So you have to decide which side of the fence you want to be in there. All right, so my next topic is control. Being in control, right? If you have a 9 to 5, someone is really in control of you. They really determine your destiny. And when I say that, you have these companies, these corporations, every job has a review process. And to me, they're very subjective because they're very internally personal, I feel like. And that's my dog always making a cameo. But human beings are giving you these reviews, these job performance tasks, all of these things, and it's a human doing it, right? So that person is projecting their energy, their thoughts, and their subjectiveness on you, right? As opposed to you working for yourself, you're in control. You're telling yourself yay or nay. You're giving yourself the praise or the no praise. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing to think about for me. I like being in control, and I don't like anybody telling me what they think of the job that I'm doing, right? I've had so many different experiences outside of teaching, of just working a regular 9 to 5. People bring personal things into work, and then that's your day to get your job rating, right? And you might get a good performance, you might get a bad performance, but you know, it all depends on how your boss is feeling. If they like you, they might not like the way you dress and may not like the way you look. And I'm keeping it real because it's the real world out here. So if you're watching this video like, yes, that's how it is, and you know it. Okay, work is very personal, and you know, so I just want to throw that out there. When you are working for yourself, you answer to yourself and you determine if you're doing a good job or not. You don't have a human being that can or that may like you or may not like you telling you if you're good at what you do, right? I really hate that part about jobs. I've had good experiences and also bad experiences, so just throwing that out there. And that is one of the things that I want to say is a pro though for owning your own business and being your own boss is that you tell you if you're doing a good job or not. All right, so let's talk about responsibility wise. When you are working for someone, of course, you have responsibilities and tasks that you have to perform at your job. When you are an entrepreneur, you have responsibilities and tasks as well, except for, let's flip the tables. When you work for somebody, let's say you drop the ball somewhere, there's going to be 3 or 4 other people to pick up that slack. You're going to get in trouble with your boss, but somebody is going to pick up that slack, right? Allegedly, possibly, maybe. But when you're working for yourself, if you drop the ball on something, there is nobody to pick up the slack but you. All the responsibility of that company, of that corporation, of that whatever you have, it falls on you. So if an employee doesn't come to work, guess what? That day off that you had, or you thought that you had, you don't, right? You're coming to work. If inventory needs to be completed and it's not, if an employee left and they didn't finish, you have to come in and do it, right? So all of these little nuances that the slack can be picked up on a 9 to 5 with someone else. When you have your own job, you are totally responsible. So the responsibility load, I feel like entrepreneurship or 9 to 5 is heavier on the entrepreneur side, because you are definitely picking up the load for everything that somebody else misses. You are the boss, you are the janitor, you are the marketer, you are, I mean, you just everything, right? You wear all the hats of all the things. So you want to keep that in mind, that if you're not a person that's heavy on the responsibility, that can handle that, you're more of a person that, oh, if I slack, I know that somebody else is going to pick that up. If you're like that type, you're definitely going to stay at your 9 to 5 and not become a boss, because responsibility wise, it's a very heavy plated type of situation, and you have to be ready to take on everything that needs to run a business. All right, so let's talk about the stress level of owning your own business. It can be very stressful as opposed to working for a 9 to 5. You know, at 5 o'clock, you get off, you leave that job there, it's done, it's over, okay? Now, as opposed to working for yourself, the stress is 24/7, because something gets wrong, something gets done, it's just on you. It's a perpetual door, it's never ending, it doesn't stop. So if you're not the type of person that can handle a certain amount of stress, then you should probably stay at your 9 to 5, right? Because it is very stressful. You were talking about potential financial risk. You're having to work when you think you're going to be off, which that has a flip side. We talked about that. Something goes wrong with your inventory, or shipment doesn't come in when you have a drop. I mean, let's think about a restaurant, right? You can have a flood in your restaurant, or a piece of equipment breaks, right? All of that is on you. Your stress level is through the roof. So you have to figure out if you're that type of person that's going to be able to handle those type of things. You will find when owning your own business, you're going to work longer hours, right? There's going to be sometimes it may be a little bit shorter. It may compare to a regular 9 to 5, but in essence, a lot of times you're going to work longer hours. You may be able to be off to go to your child's soccer game or swimming game or swimming competition or so on and so forth, but there are times when you're going to work these long, grueling hours because employees might call off. You may not have an employee, so you're going to sacrifice a lot of your time. You're going to have a lot of flexibility, but you also are going to sacrifice a lot of your time. And this is my dog Tom. He's trying to tell me something, and I'll talk to you in a minute. Go. I'll talk to you later. All right, so there are a lot of pros and cons to owning your own business, being an entrepreneur, and working a 9 to 5. Let's keep the conversation going below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm always going to sway over on the side of being an entrepreneur. I don't care what anybody says. It's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. This is a lifestyle channel. I talk about boutique ownership, fashion hauls, luxury, slight vacations when I am able to do that. So if you're interested in that type of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also make sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And obviously it's time for me to feed and walk my dog because he keeps making cameos on this video, my baby here. And until the next video, make sure you catch my latest one after this one. And I thank you guys so much. Until the next one, guys. Peace.